So today we're talking about more coastal imaginary. We talked about our escape form that you guys can use to get out of if you're going to be known absence, or if you need to get a 24-hour or 48-hour delay for your submission on most things, not all things, not time-sensitive group collaborative work, but on most things. You can go ahead and fill that out. You just have to fill it out before it's due. We have our guest speaker, Greg Stone, coming on Thursday. I'll have the module on later today. If you haven't, please watch at least the second lecture video from our module next week to give you context for his presentation. He's going to be talking about, amongst other things, deep sea mining, and you guys have been surveying about that. Remember, you guys have to get your first 25 surveys in by Thursday. I want you guys to do your first, if you've not done it yet, please do your self-writing assessment and fill out this form for me. We have our syllabus contract. I want you guys to have made sure that you've looked over our modified syllabus and that you're all in agreement. You can chat with me if you have any questions. And then we just went over our eras of coastal rhetoric again that we covered before: the phobiary, the imaginary, the dystopiary, and the inclusionary. And our first task is this one where we're looking at the term coastal, where you guys are going on your browser and using an anonymous tool, so either DuckDuckGo, Tor, or something similar. You're typing in your word and finding an image or text that you find interesting or what have you. Put the link in and then tell me if it's either positive, neutral, or negative. Give me a 3-word summary and just then a 1-sentence comment. And so we've been doing that for the last little bit. Okay, so it sounds like most people are done. So let's take a quick look at this before we go on to our next activity. So if you haven't finished, you guys, if you just finish this for me, by this evening and stuff, so we can pull it all together and we can post it up for people to look at. If you still have 1 or 2 more, that's cool. Keep working on it. But I just want to make sure that we all are, and this will become more apparent when we start to look at some other things later today. But I just wanted to tell you, generally speaking, when we do these collaborative group efforts, our opinion polling, whatever the heck it is, the sheets are set up the way they are for a couple different reasons. But one of the reasons is so that it's relatively easy for you all to look at the results. So in this case, what I've done, this will usually be the case with our form, with the types of our collaborative class project stuff, is, not always, usually if you scroll to the bottom, that's where you can see some of the initial summary statistics, right? So in the stuff we're doing, in most cases, the summary statistics will be a great way to start to get a feel for whatever the thing that we're querying is. You might need to do some more sophisticated statistics or this or that, but that's a good place to start. And so if we look down here, this was just the big picture. So the big picture of stuff. So the terms that you were all searching for, I found by typing in coastal and going to a thesaurus and just talking about the types of things people have given us in previous years' opinion polls, right? So that's how I came up with the words. And so they're all coast or coastal related, coastal-ish, marine-ish, that kind of stuff. And so our first question is, hey, generally speaking, when people search for these terms, are things generally positive, neutral, or negative? And so to do that, in this case, and you can always see this, I guess I have it. I guess I have the thing zoomed out. Okay, maybe a little easier to see. Okay, so now I don't expect you guys to do this. I will do this for you or for us. But if you go and look on the bottom, you'll see usually something. And so oftentimes it'll be something like a basic summation, like an adding up of the categories. And then, because it matters if we have 5 answers or 50, then a proportional breakdown of whatever the thing is, right? So that's what we're seeing here. So this first number is, in this case, it's the people that found this, the term generally positive or interesting. So you guys are still adding to it, but 161 examples were of that nature and 74 were not, right? And so if I click on this, if I click on this cell here, you'll see how I calculated that. So I just used a COUNTIF function and just said, hey, go to this column, and every time somebody said yes, count that. Or every time somebody said no, count that, right? So pretty simple. And then for these guys down here, the proportional stuff, I just said take, in this case, the 161 and divide it by 161 plus 74, right? So those are all the ones. So as you guys keep adding to the database, the number is going to slightly change, but that's all that we're looking at. Does that make sense? Okay. So so generally speaking, if you want to see what the answer was, what had the greatest preference, what was the greatest value, whatever, just scroll to the bottom, usually underneath those particular columns, and you'll see some of the insights. Okay, so in this case, if again, this is still in progress, but if we just look across, it looks like about 2/3 of those terms that you use are generally positive, right? And you know, is about 50-50 negative. So it looks like, yeah, so it looks like they're mostly positive. Cool. What did you guys see? What did you guys see there? So what was any themes coming up? Were the images pretty similar? Were the phrasing, the terms pretty similar? Okay. So sorry, yeah.
I mean, I did Tide and I got like a lot of detergent.
A lot of detergent. Okay, right. Okay, good. All right. Well, so there we go. So it looks like sometimes we were getting the sort of coastal-y types of rhetoric, and at other times we were getting soap or corporate landing page, right? Okay, interesting. So you know, we can then drill down farther if we want. So we can say, what about the text-based responses? Or what if the words that had shore in them? How did they compare? So all that stuff is totally you know, possible. But just for time, I want to go on to our next task. So I want to start our next task, get you guys going for a few minutes, make sure everybody understands, and then if you guys wanted to take a bathroom break or whatever, you know, you can do that. So let's first introduce it. Cool? So we're on the same sheet, but now I'm going to click where it says Part 2. Okay, so let me explain what we're doing here on this one. Okay, so this is similar, but a little bit different. And so I have given you guys two different possible, or I'm suggesting you guys go to two different possible image search engines. One is here called CaliSphere, and one is the Smithsonian. And so both have things that are images and things that are, you know, scanned in documents, historical things, right? So you just looked on the web, which is stuff right now. This is, you know, stuff from back in the day. Both of them have the ability to pick the year, to stratify years. They also have a diverse set of things. So you could search in the postcard collection. You could search in the orange crate section. You could search in the historic photos, or you know, whatever, you know. There's lots of ways to go with this. So just like before, everybody. Sorry, Elise, this is still alphabetical. Sorry. I'm still very I'm an Aist apparently is what's going on. But anyway, so we're all here. So have a look. We all have two different search terms, and so here we go. So Solomon has 4 beaches and 4 seasides, right? And so some of these terms are repeated. So some people have the same search terms, some people have others, right? So everybody has a couple. And so you can choose to, if you want to do CaliSphere or if you want to do Smithsonian, it's up to you. It doesn't really matter, but pick one of those. Grab it and go and click the link and go to it. And then you know, type in your search term, beach or what have you. Again, you can also pick the eras. So, you know, play around with it for a minute to sort of see how it works. And then once you do it, I want you guys to pick some different eras. Okay? So you can pick some phobiary eras, you can pick some imaginary eras, whatever. And so when you're like looking for your beaches, hey, what kind of representations of beaches come up in the 1950s? What kind of beaches come up in the, 1930s or 1970s or whatever? So don't just get all your stuff from one era, right? Try to mix it up and go for it. And then what's your era? Is it the phobiary era, the imaginary era, etc.? You might want to first just search without the year restriction, just to make sure you can make it work and it makes sense. In some cases, some of the corners that we'll search in, you might not have 1,000 million search engines. So maybe you just might want to use not a year restriction. And then once you get it, then you can tell me what year it comes from. But if you do get hundreds and thousands of stuff, then go ahead and restrict to some different time periods, so it's a little bit easier for you to get a representative sample.